Anatomy of flowering plants. You can very easily see the structural similarities and variations in the external morphology of the larger living organism. Both plants and animals, similarly, if we were to study the internal structure, one also finds several similarities as well as differences. This chapter introduces you to the internal structure and functional organization of higher plants. Study of internal structures of plants is called anatomy. Plants have cells as the basic unit. Cells are organized into tissue, and in turn, the tissues are organized into organs. Different organs in a plant show differences in their internal structure. Within angiosperms, the monocots and dicots are also seen to be anatomically different. Internal structures also show adaptations to diverse environments. The tissue system. We were discussing types of tissues based on the types of cells present. Let us now consider how tissue vary depending on their location in the plant body. Their structure and function would also be dependent on plant body. Their structure and function will also be dependent on location. On the basis of their structure and location, there are three types of tissue systems. These are the epidermal tissue system, the ground or fundamental tissue system, and the vascular or conducting tissue system. Epidermal tissue system. The epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body and comprises epidermal cells, stomata, and the epidermal appendages, the trichomes and hairs. The epidermis is the outermost layer of the primary plant body. It is made up of elongated, compactly arranged cells which form a continuous layer. Epidermis is usually single layered. Epidermal cells are parenchymatous with a small amount of cytoplasm lining the cell wall and a large vacuole. The outside of the epidermis is often covered with a waxy thick layer called the cuticle, which prevent the loss of water. Cuticle is absent in roots. Stomata are structures present in the epidermis of leaves. Stomata regulate the processes of transpiration and gaseous exchange. Each stomata is composed of two bean-shaped cells known as guard cells, which enclose stomatal pore. In grasses, the guard cells are dumbbell-shaped. The outer walls of guard cells away from the stomatal pore are thin, and the inner walls towards the stomatal pore are highly thickened. The guard cell possesses chloroplast and regulate the opening of and closing of stomata. Sometimes a few epidermal cells in the vicinity of guard cells become specialized in their shape and size and are known as subsidiary cells. The stomatal aperture, guard cells, and the surrounding subsidiary cells are together called stomatal apparatus. The cells of epidermis bear a number of hairs. The root hairs are unicellular elongations of the epidermal cells and help absorb water and minerals from the soil. On the stem, the epidermal hairs are called trichomes. The trichomes in the shoot system are usually multicellular. They may be branched or unbranched and soft or stiff. They may even be secretory. The trichomes help in preventing water loss due to transpiration. The ground tissue system. All tissues except epidermis and vascular bundles constitute the ground tissue. It consists of simple tissues such as parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchymatous cells are usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith, and medullary rays. In the primary stems and roots in leaves, the ground tissues consist of thin-walled chloroplast containing cells and is called mesophyll. The vascular tissue system. The vascular system consists of complex tissues, the phloem and the xylem. The xylem and phloem together constitute vascular bundles. In dicotyledon stems, cambium is present between phloem and xylem. Such vascular bundles, because of the presence of cambium, possesses the ability to form secondary xylem and phloem tissues, hence are called open vascular bundles. In the monocotyledons, the vascular bundles have no cambium present in them. Hence, since they do not form secondary tissues, they are referred to as closed. When xylem and phloem within a vascular bundle are arranged in an alternate manner along the different radii, the arrangement is called radial, such as in roots. In conjoint type of vascular bundles, the xylem and phloem are jointly situated along the same radius of vascular bundles. Such vascular bundles are common in stems and leaves. The conjoint vascular bundles usually have the phloem located only on the outer side of xylem. Anatomy of dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plants. For a better understanding of tissues, organization of roots, stem, and leaves, it is convenient to study the transverse section of mature zones of these organs. Dicotyledonous root. It shows the transverse section of the sunflower root. The internal tissue organization is as follows. The outermost layer is epiblema. Many of the cells of epiblema protrude in the form of unicellular root hairs. The cortex consists of several layers of thin-walled parenchyma cells with intercellular spaces. The innermost layer of cortex is called endodermis. It comprises a single layer of barrel-shaped cells without any intercellular spaces. The tangential as well as radial walls of the endodermal cells have a deposition of water impermeable waxy material suberin in the form of Casparian strips. Next to endodermis lies a few layers of thick-walled parenchymatous cells referred to as pericycle. Initiation of lateral roots and vascular cambium during the secondary growth take place in these cells. The pith is small or inconspicuous. The parenchymatous cells which lie between the xylem and the phloem are called conjunctive tissues. There are usually two or four xylem and phloem patches. Later, a cambium ring develops between the xylem and phloem. All tissues on the inner side of the endodermis, such as pericycle, vascular bundles, and pith, constitute the stele. Monocotyledonous root. The anatomy of monocot root is similar to the dicot root in many respects. If it has epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, vascular bundles, and pith, as compared to the dicot root which have fewer xylem bundles. There are usually more than 6 polyarch xylem bundles in the monocot root. Pith is large and well developed. Monocotyledons root do not undergo any secondary growth. Dicotyledonous stem. The transverse section of a typical young dicotyledonous stem shows that the epidermis is the outermost protective layer of the stem. Covered with a thin layer of cuticle, it may bear trichomes and a few stomata. The cells arranged in multiple layers between epidermis and pericycle constitute the cortex. It consists of three subzones. The outer hypodermis consists of a few layers of collenchymatous cells just below the epidermis, which provide mechanical strength to the young stem. Cortical layers below hypodermis consist of rounded thin-walled parenchymatous cells with conspicuous intercellular spaces. The innermost layer of the cortex is called the endodermis. The cells of the endodermis are rich in starch grains and the layer is also referred to as the starch sheath. Pericycle is present on the inner side of the endodermis and above the phloem in the form of semilunar patches of sclerenchyma. In between the vascular bundles, there are a few layers of radially placed parenchymatous cells which constitute medullary rays. A large number of vascular bundles are arranged in a ring. The ring arrangement of vascular bundles is a characteristic of dicot stem. Each vascular bundle is conjoint, open, and with endark protoxylem. A large number of rounded parenchymatous cells with large intracellular spaces which occupy the central portion of the stem constitute the pith. Monocotyledonous stem. The monocot stem has a sclerenchymatous hypodermis, a large number of scattered vascular bundles, each surrounded by a sclerenchymatous bundle sheath, and a large conspicuous parenchymatous ground tissue. Vascular bundles are conjoint and closed. Peripheral vascular bundles are generally smaller than the centrally located ones. The phloem parenchyma is absent and water containing cavities are present within the vascular bundles. Dorsiventral dicotyledonous leaf. The vertical section of a dorsiventral leaf through the lamina shows three main parts, namely epidermis, mesophyll, and vascular system. The epidermis, which covers both the upper surface, adaxial epidermis, and the lower surface, abaxial epidermis of the leaf, has a conspicuous cuticle. The abaxial epidermis generally bears more stomata than the adaxial epidermis. The latter may even lack stomata. The tissue between the upper and the lower epidermis is called the mesophyll. Mesophyll, which possesses chloroplasts and carry out photosynthesis, is made up of parenchyma. It has two types of cells, the palisade parenchyma and the spongy parenchyma. The adaxially placed palisade parenchyma is made up of elongated cells which are arranged vertically are parallel to each other. The oval or round and loosely arranged spongy parenchyma is situated below the palisade cells and extends to the lower epidermis. There are numerous large spaces and air cavity between these cells. Vascular system includes vascular bundle which can be seen in the veins and the midrib. The size of the vascular bundles are dependent on the size of the veins. The veins are vary in thickness in the reticulate venation of the dicot leaves. The vascular bundles are surrounded by a layer of thick wall bundle sheath cells. Look at figure 6.5 and find the position of xylem in the vascular bundle. Isobilateral monocotyledonous leaf. The anatomy of isobilateral leaf is similar to that of the dorsiventral leaf in many ways. It shows the following characteristic differences. In an isobilateral leaf, the stomata are present on both the surfaces of the epidermis and the mesophyll is not differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. In grasses, certain adaxial epidermal cells along the veins modified themselves into large, empty, colorless cells. These are called bulliform cells. When the bulliform cells in the leaves have absorbed water and are turgid, the leaf surface is exposed. When they are flaccid due to water stress, they make the leaves curl inwards to minimize water loss. The parallel venation in monocot leaves is reflected in the near similar sizes of vascular bundles except in main veins as seen in vertical sections of the leaves. तो ये जो एनसीईआरटी मैंने फॉलो किया है ये न्यू एडिशन वाली एनसीईआरटी है, इसलिए ये चैप्टर इतना कट करके आया है। जो पुरानी एनसीईआरटी है उसमें और भी बहुत सारे टॉपिक है, जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम वाला जो टॉपिक है वो भी इस एनसीईआरटी से हटा दिया है। तो अगर किसी को पुरानी वाली एनसीईआरटी फॉलो करनी है तो वो वहाँ मतलब चेक कर सकता है उसको। बाकी जो न्यू एनसीईआरटी है जो न्यू सिलेबस के अकॉर्डिंग फॉलो होगी वो यही है, और जितनी भी इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन्स है वो सारी मैंने इस चैप्टर की हाईलाइट कर दी है, जहाँ जहाँ से भी क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं। ओके, थैंक यू।